What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about Garn, more specifically what team I would probably be running with Garn. There's a team out there that some people aren't really talking about, so I just wanted to kind of talk about it. I'm kind of gonna run through his abilities real quick. So on his basic, he's landing 290% physical damage and 360% physical damage if you take it up to level 7, but at level 6, it's at 290%. And he's inflicting daze as soon as he hits the enemy. So on hit, he lands a daze. 2 turns if you have it at level 7. His second ability at level 6, he's dealing 260% physical damage to all enemies and inflicts bleeding for 2 turns and an armor decrease for 1 turn. If you take it up to level 7, he's dealing 60% more physical damage, so 320 to all enemies. And he's inflicting bleeding and an armor decrease for 2 turns. So let's keep those two in mind, the bleeding and the armor decrease. For his third ability, at level 6, he's dealing 390% physical damage to 1 enemy, and he's decreasing that enemy's turn meter by 40%. He inflicts a stun for 1 turn if the enemy is affected by an armor decrease. He also gains 25% turn meter on hit. So if he lands that hit, he's gaining the 25% turn meter. If you take that up to level 7, he's dealing 480% physical damage to the enemy. The enemy's losing 50% turn meter, and he's gaining 50% turn meter on hit. So that's pretty good. And then his passive, at level 6, Garn gains 10% increase physical damage for each living orc in the party. After Garn deals damage, he has an 80% chance to gain a damage increase and an accuracy increase for 1 turn. If you take this to level 7, Garn gains 12% physical damage for each living orc in the party, and he'll guarantee after deals damage, he will gain a damage increase and accuracy increase for 1 turn. So this is really good. If you take it to level 6, he's going to be gaining 50% physical damage if you put him in a full orc team. And of course, if you take it to level 7, he'll be gaining 60% physical damage. So that's really good on top of his base damage stats. So let's kind of talk about who you'll be pairing him with if you use my little comp here. Rantha, her leadership ability says both physical damage and magic damage of all allies from the clans increases by 25%. All ally orcs gain 5% lifesteal for each living orc in the party, which is also good. So Garn will be gaining 25% physical damage on top of his, if you do 10%, it'll be 50%. So 75% physical damage. If you take him up to level 7, he'll be gaining 85% physical damage. If you put him in a full orc team, that's incredible. That's almost 100%. So if you have like 4,000 damage, he'll be up there. Now, another character I kind of wanted to highlight is Dieselrog. Dieselrog's second ability is also an AoE, and he is dealing 210% physical damage to all enemies and a 70% chance to inflict an armor decrease for 2 turns. If he gets that off, he'll be landing the armor decrease. So rather or not, if he does it or not, Garn will also do that. Garn also lands an armor decrease. And the good thing about armor decrease is not just because, it helps them land a daze or whatever, but it makes the enemy weaker. So they take more damage if their armor is lower. So they will be dealing more damage because they both got AoEs, especially if you throw in Mar and you use Mar's third ability first. Mar gains damage increase, crit chance increase, and a crit damage increase for 2 turns and restores 50% turn meter. I like the fact that these orcs are gaining turn meter because they're slow. Like right off the bat, their base stats are slow. And then Mar also has an AoE. So if you're landing all these armor decreases, you're going to be hitting for slightly harder than usual. So, and of course, if Mar lands 4 critical hits, this cooldown, you get the attack back right away. So I think those 3 characters together, Garn, Mar, Dizarag, under Rantha's leadership ability, will be a very heavy damage dealing team. Now you could throw in Mortha. Mortha also gains a bunch of damage, increased magic damage by 25%, and additional 5% for each living orc in the party. You put her in with 5 orcs, she's getting 50% magic damage, plus 25%, 75. And then of course if you add this, she's getting 100% pretty much magic damage. So she'll be hitting very, very hard. But what most people might do, you could put her in for a little bit of health. What I probably will do is throw in this guy over here, Reval. Because Reval benefits greatly from bleeding. His passive says Reval deals 50% more damage to the bleeding enemies. So if the enemy's bleeding, 50% damage. His AoE, if you take it to level 6, deals 240% physical damage to all enemies and an additional 20% of physical damage for each effect of bleeding on all enemies. So that's crazy damage. The best part about this is, remember his passive, at level 6, he gains 50% more damage, right? For bleeding characters. That only works for bleeding characters. But Reval also gets an extra buff because he is from the clans. We'll go back to the orcs. Because he's from the clans, he works well with Rantha. Rantha's leadership clearly states both physical damage and magic damage of all allies from the clans increases by 25%. So Reval just entering the battlefield is gaining an additional 25% physical damage. So 25% on top of his base stats, that's pretty good. Anything's pretty good, right? And then, of course, if the enemy's bleeding, which they will be bleeding, he's dealing 50% more damage to bleeding enemies. Just for having bleeding. It doesn't matter what number it is, how many bleeds they have on them. It could be 1, 10, doesn't matter. He's dealing 50%. But his AoE is just 20% extra physical damage for each effect of bleeding on all enemies. I mean, it's just, I think it's going to be a really good team. And yeah, some of these orcs will be losing a little bit of damage because Reval's not an orc. Like right here, Garn gains 10% increased physical damage for each living orc in the party. So he'll be getting just 40% more instead of 50, which is fine. That doesn't matter. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of go through this, talk about Garn, what I thought about him, what team I would use. Of course, everything I'm saying is just a theory. I can't know for sure until this character is actually released. But I will say this, as soon as this character is released and I can unlock him, I will unlock him and I'll throw in as much resources as I can to get him up, and I will make this team and see how it works. So he probably won't be a high level, but that's okay. I guarantee I will get him and I will take him up. So yeah, until then, thanks for watching. If you like the video, like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.